Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to the Swemp Electronics Football Alliance Division 1 Match Day 22. Only 5 games left to go in this wonderful division and the battle for the title is still very much on. I am joined tonight by star of Super League and manager of Flamingos, temporarily until he makes his new team for next season, Mr. Stephen Fife. Good evening.
Good evening. Thanks for having me back.
Not a problem at all. How are you?
Disappointed and dejected, if I'm honest. So it makes for excellent co-commentary.
And to be honest, it sets you up for a match as Flamingos manager, so it's perfect, isn't it? We'll take a look at last time's fixtures, and it wasn't the worst performance in the world against Wolves, was it?
No, we were very unlucky. Obviously, the goalkeeper got sent off very early. From memory, we kept it very tight for quite a long period. We stayed in the game, and then the difference in quality shone through.
Yeah, it was all about Yarstein's red card, wasn't it? And just unfortunate that happened, but obviously Wolves showing that they have that little bit more quality and show their middle of the table position it's pretty much absolutely bang on. Good evening, Mike Savage. Welcome to the show. Early viewings. Looking forward to this round, to be honest. Other games, just what I mean, the results were kind of like normal football results you could see from this time, couldn't you?
Yes, they were. And the one thing I noticed, because it doesn't happen a lot, is that there were no away wins. There was the odd draw, but it was the home team certainly dominated the last round of fixtures.
Do you know, I didn't even notice that until you've just mentioned it.
And I just think it's one of the things where we've got to the business end of the season now, and certain teams are feeling the pressure. Certain managers perhaps making decisions they wouldn't have made when there wasn't a lot more riding on it, and the big name players are starting to, the cream rises to the top, as they say.
It's interesting that thing about pressure, because if you look at the table, good evening, Wolfie. Welcome back to the chats after all this time. Welcome back. Looking at the top half of the table last time, Trafford didn't win. Phoenix, Hulls, East Coast, Allenwell, Badgers, none of them won. Only Falaraki in the top 7.
And that's what I'm saying. When was last time? You consider there's what, 14? Is it 14 teams in the league?
Yeah.
Which means only one of the top half have won. It's not commonplace, not common practice.
No, and to think about it, what did we have? We only had 2 draws, so the bottom half of the table certainly profited from that round. And what it actually did as well, looking at that table, Racers have kept themselves in a position where they cannot be relegated today, whatever happens. Imagine Real Madrid could go down.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was looking at it from the actual table's point of view. I realise what you mean now. Yes, absolutely. And
easy mistake.
Well, I think from what I've seen in the short time I've been involved, both of those deserve to come down with me. I don't think they're particularly good, and which is unfortunate for them sides, of course. But I just feel the small cluster of teams above them are slightly better.
Yeah, I'm probably a little bit surprised at Imagine Real Madrid looking at that squad and thinking, they have got some really good players there. I think something's happened within the team, maybe the formation or something, but it's not a bad team at all, is it?
No, they're certainly better equipped than, say, Flamingos. I would suggest on paper they were better equipped than Racers, although there are more people in the Racers squad that I personally would choose. I see as you click on them there. I like Earnshaw, I like Bellamy. Obviously, you've got Melville, who I've seen. I wouldn't personally pick him, but I've seen what he's capable of at Gondor. Davies is a good player.
Chris
Um,
Coleman.
Kumas, another one. Coleman, another Gondor player. Kumas, Hearts, and obviously starts Celtic. So I personally, out of the two, prefer the Racers team, but I would agree with your comments that arguably the Imaginary Madrid squad on paper was better.
Yeah, yeah, probably just that little bit better, and the team's effectively fighting for their lives. I think it's only a matter of time before both teams do go down. I mean, we won't be seeing the Racers next season. We might see Imaginary Madrid. We won't see the Racers, but I mean, surely Mr. Hopkins wouldn't want to see his team get relegated.
No, but he is used to life at the bottom. In the Super League, his track record is less than exemplary, and it's no coincidence that Dragons start doing well when he gets help on board.
Oh, cynical, cynical. Wolfie is certainly hoping for putting another W in WWFC today, and looking at those fixtures, do you think so? It's Phoenix. What do you reckon, Fifey?
That they're not known, or Ryan's not known for losing too many games on the spin. It's not often he follows up defeat with defeat.
No, it was a
He's
draw
very
last time as well, so it wasn't the worst
true.
result in the world. They have only lost, how many games is it? One. They've only lost, I think it was to, was it to East Coast that they lost to, or Allenwell? Allenwell. Nope, 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 nope. It was Badgers. Badger Tato would be killing me for that one. Yeah, Badgers that they lost to.
I have a feeling I was actually watching that game as well. That might have been the one where we had quite a few of us on a video chat and we had it on a share screen. So I
Ah,
seem to remember
yes.
that.
Yes, the time when we had many more viewers than we actually knew we had. Now,
Yeah,
nowadays,
because there was only like I was like the only one that was actively viewing for you, but I had about 7 people watching it on my Zoom chat.
the more that's superb to see people taking a bit of note of this league, which obviously the reason why it's good is that people have put stuff into it and made some quality teams, and I think next season is going to be superb with the new concepts and things that go on. I think it's going to be a much better season than this one, which I've really enjoyed.
I think what we've seen over the last 12 to 16 months is there's been a lot of great content during a lockdown period where, a lot of us 30-plus-year-old men needed it. I think the difference when it comes to things like Swemp and definitely Super League is, good content come and go, great content stays, and there's a reason that these persist. It's because people enjoy them.
Well, certainly Super League. What we into season 8 is at the moment. Super League. It's definitely got its longevity. Hopefully, we can see Swemp continuing. That would be great to see it going for a few seasons, and I'll do what I can. But yeah, certainly. Yeah, good evening. So. Good evening, Tato. Good evening, David, as well. So, welcome to the show. We're about to get kicking off, and I know Tato is looking for an early slot in the fixtures today, whereas a couple of others, and looks like Wolfie wants an early game, doesn't he, as well, to stay awake. So.
I was when I saw Wolfie's comment, I was thinking to myself, when you asked me to do co-coms, I thought you were being quite optimistic, because I think it's at the last 3 shows I've joined in at the start and I've put comments, and then I fell asleep just before my game kicks off and woke up to find out the result, including a text from you saying you're about to start.
I thought, you've been on the chat the whole time, so let's try and get you into this. So where do we go first? We're not going to go to Fortuna versus Iron Curtain then. We will go to the top, and we'll go to Wolves versus Phoenix and see if Phoenix can put that pressure at the top of the league on Trafford. And so looking at the team for today, it's David in charge today as opposed to Wolfie. and this is the team that he's put out today, which I'm quite intrigued by.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this works because in this era of us previously alluded to 30-plus-year-old men all trying to play, Pep Guardiola style modern football on a 20-year-old game. It's interesting to see how basically a flat line of 4 and a flat line of 5 is going to work.
Yeah, yeah. It's certainly when the team came in, I thought this is different, and it shouldn't be different, should it? This is default with a little bit of change. And what I'm really sort of intrigued about is Neil Scally.
Being the only one with a sideways arrow.
Yeah, yeah. He'll just go and
He's
fill in while
essentially
those other 4 go forward.
he's essentially playing the Declan Rice doesn't look forward role.
Yes. I'm wondering. I don't know. I'm trying to pick reasons for this. Does David want somebody running straight up from the middle, so fill in when they go forward, or would you have gone for Scally central and have Collins over here? I don't know. It's interesting.
Um, it's interesting. I know a lot of people get quite OCD about their arrows and their runners and stuff. So yes, a lot of people probably would have gone for Scally in the middle with no arrow, Collins just to the left with an arrow. But maybe that is that little bit of sauce that makes the whole tactic that bit tasty.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the reggae of the league. Yeah, so Wolfie, for his own team, isn't hugely convinced. Good evening, Mr. Shaw, as well. You and Rovers staying on for next season would be superb for us as well. It's good news that you're sticking for another season. Yeah, interesting formation, very attacking. You're absolutely right, Tato. There are 4 at the back, and there's nobody else at the back. It's just those 4 left to it, and then
it's almost old school playground football, isn't it? It's like, right, you guys are defenders, you defend. You guys are attackers, you attack. Then there's just nothing in the middle.
yes, playground football. Involved in some today, some superb stuff, some wonderful open goals missed. It was quite the match that I was watching and loosely taking part in as well. So yeah, it's, the Wolves team looks very jolly, despite the fact that its manager isn't hugely convinced. But David's gone for that. For Phoenix today, only a small change in tactic to usual, but a notable change in that Cafu is now being deployed as a wing back.
Oh God, I saw this the other day. I can't remember who it was.
It's
but
very Trumpton, was it? Is it Trumpton that were kind of that
someone
style?
else did this because then the fullback that was further back had the longer arrow and all sorts was going on. I mean, there's no reason it shouldn't work. It's just a bit of an eyesore to look at, but it should work fine.
Yeah, there's been a few changes. Obviously, Batistuta is missing this game, and he's been vital in recent matches. That Shearer's in. We see we've got who else has been recalled to this team? I'm thinking Bergkamp. Bergkamp's starting actually.
I think Bergkamp sort of. I'm not sure if you're one for clicking away or such,
yeah,
but I think
course,
Bergkamp's an in and out type of player because his name seems to pop up, and you can see there. I mean, 5 starts, 4 goals. You think to yourself, why at this stage has he not maybe got 15, 16 starts?
Yeah.
And
I mean, Rui
10,
Costa,
12.
Rui Costa certainly proved to be a very, very good player this season, hasn't he? There, Henrik Larsson sort of been in and out as well, playing quite well. Who else is in there in attacking midfield position? Henrik Larsson. Yeah, I mean, they've all done. I've just clicked on Larsson already twice. Yeah, they've all done pretty well, haven't they? Zidane, not quite so good, but we kind of get used to that sometimes, don't we?
Okay, so we've got a slightly different audience tonight in terms of what I'm used to. Obviously,
Yes.
this is the very much a Swemp-based audience,
The Pleb League,
as
yeah.
opposed to the Super League audience. So, a question for those watching: has anyone in Champ seen Zidane be good? Because everyone that's had him in the Super League has failed. And you've just brought his stats up there. He's not exactly contributing massively to this Phoenix team either. And if anyone was going to get, numbers out of him, it would be right. So, question for everyone watching: has anyone got actual numbers out as Zidane?
Was it just Bostock that got that hat trick for him, and that was about it?
Yeah, he got a hat trick and then got like 5-6, 5-6-6.
Yeah. There's nothing else, is there? It's interesting to say he was such a world beater that, as far as the game goes, they just couldn't create him to be the same.
No,
Wolfie says no.
Yeah, he's just one of them enigmas that everyone wants because of his stats, but no one can actually do anything with.
Oh, what's going on with my computer there? Something's going on with my computer. Just clicking on random thing. It's brought up the weather forecast. Lovely. Nice to see that. I have no idea what's going on with that. I don't want to see any more news, thank you very much. There we are. Lovely. Go away. Anyway, Savage saying he needs creative support. I think in a team like this, there's nothing but creativity. And yeah, I know you're into your creativity, aren't you, Mr. Savage, in Champ Manager style, and of course with your logos and things, which are certainly getting some notoriety as well. Looking good there. Recently in a Millwall save, I say he had a good debut in the Premiership, says David. And
when he says debut, does he mean debut season or just a debut?
Just one match, maybe. I don't know.
Just one match.
So your prediction for this one, 5 feet, and obviously anyone in the chat, just put up your predictions any time that you feel ready before kickoff would be the best.
I'm going to say mainly because they're at home. I'm going to say Phoenix 3-1.
3-1. David says it was season. Yeah, I know.
Okay, so the follow up question to that is that a good debut season by Millwall standards or by what you'd expect from Zidane standards?
Yes, I know David's doing well to be here tonight. He's gutted from the result, I can tell earlier on. So, Mr.
Well,
Shaw,
honestly, I've had to have a bit of a tidy up because although everyone else can't see me, I know you can. And the amount of stuff that I've been throwing around my living room in an absolute fit of rage at what I was witnessing. So I've had to have a bit of a tidy up just in case you can see anything.
I can only see your background and your head, and sometimes your clothes. Otherwise, it disappears into just you and a floating head. 2-0. Yeah. Half the time you go nude. It's Brett. 2-0 says Savage, 3-2 says Stephen Shaw, and Wolfie says 1-0 Wolves. And why not? And we are a long way into today's games without kicking off, so let's get going. And it's been a tremendously fast start there, hasn't it? No, first chance goal, Pellizzoli makes a save, but it's a goal, it's a penalty for Shearer. It's been quite the action-packed start, to be honest. Shearer scores the opener from a penalty, and wonder if it was actually a penalty or a harsh decision. We'll have a look at the things at half-time. It seems very much Phoenix. Robin's taking a yellow card. Another penalty, and Shearer makes it 2-0. It's not going the best for the Wolves, but nobody's been sent off at least. Pellizzoli playing fairly well. And another chance again. Larsen's had one. Wolves certainly not looking like they're getting into it with lots of 5s and 6s there. We're half an hour in. It seems like Shearer's more likely to score a hat-trick than not at the moment. Yeah, close to half-time, and it's absolutely, Pellizzoli aside, one team completely better than the other, and we're almost, Javin's had a chance there finally for, Larsen, not quite. It looks like domination.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the Wolves team, you mentioned the goalkeeper, obviously. You can't blame him for 2 penalties going past him because that's the nature of the beast. But he seems to have done everything else right. Everyone else has just been absolutely rancidly awful. Essentially, what Wolves have done there is the ultimate tribute to England by basically repeating the match ratings that the players probably got tonight. Phoenix, on the other hand, as you said, as the halftime whistle went, complete domination. you would expect it. Again, it's one of them where the teams on paper aren't exactly evenly matched. But yeah, Phoenix certainly living up to their billing as title
Yeah,
contenders.
it's two different tiers, isn't it? I mean, if even at the end, if it was 4-0, it wouldn't be the worst result in the world.
No, although as someone who's used to being on the end of 4, 5, and 6-0 losses, it can still feel it even if your team aren't expected to compete.
Well, that's very true, isn't it? Very true.
I mean,
Stackleton started
I
off
was
with
led
goals.
to believe I was led to believe that what was Javan at Wolves, one of the top goal scorers in the league. He's contributed nothing.
Yeah, it's
Um,
it's a strange one for him. By the way, just if David or Wolfie, whoever's making the subs, feel free to tell us what you want at half time, if anything. Yeah, he's not quite turned it on for a few games, but still 16 league goals is a great return.
yeah, but you need him to continue through to. It's no good and well. Someone saying, I've won the Golden Boot in the Premier League, so I'm not going to turn up for the Euros because I'm still excellent, kind of thing. You still need to perform every time you're on the
I
pitch.
can hear some real life comments going on here. So Robin switches with Edrington, Matthew the ringtone, of course, there he is, and then Anderton on for Edrington, and Davies to switch over with Anderton. Great stuff. Half time change there is made, and Edrington was on a 6 compared to quite a few 5s there.
Yeah, but it was basically take your pick of which one of the awful performers was coming off. Um, you make a case for only the goalkeeper staying on and everyone else being changed if you could.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think a lot of players would go. Phoenix are going to go unchanged because they believe in less is more. And I'm just kind of hearing noises from upstairs. Yeah, I'm hearing noises from upstairs, but I think she's going back to sleep. We're okay. Right. So second half is underway, and Wolves trying to get back into it early days, and Davies had a chance. Yavin's had another chance, so they're certainly looking a bit more like they're getting into it. But it's a red card now, and it's Pellet solely. Oh no! After all that great work he'd done to keep that score low, he has now gone. What are you thinking? Are you thinking 4-4-1 here?
Sorry, I was just getting a drink.
That's quite right. Yeah, I'm thinking more 4-4-1 maybe at this
It would make
position.
sense to go 4-4-1 here.
And what Anderton, take Anderton on. No, Anderton's on a 7. Yeah, I mean we're
Anderton
looking.
has only been on the pitch for 5
I
minutes.
know. I'm playing devil's advocate here. Scally off. Okay, so
All out attack.
take off the holding one. I assume it's going to be more kind of. Is it going to be the arrow for Collins moving Scally back, doing that with an arrow? Just tell me if I'm not. Tell me if I'm wrong, and I'm happy to swap that. Scally's not in goal, of course. Sullivan on, yeah.
I mean, the only thing I would have possibly considered was the fact that Robin was on a yellow.
Yeah, potentially, but who plays left if he goes off? Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Very tricky one. I'm going to do that, and it's arrow up. There we go. Good. There we are. Can Shearer make it 3? I assume it's another penalty.
You wouldn't bet against him.
And it is. It's 3-0. Alan Shearer, 3 penalties. What a strange match this is. And the substitutes now are coming. If you want to make your third sub at this point, go ahead.
It's funny, isn't it, how Phoenix have been so dominant yet can only score from the penalty spot.
Very strange, very strange. Obviously Sullivan probably only has had to pick the ball out of the net. If you want another change, have a look. You got Richards on a 5, Davies on a 5, Robin on a card, Yavin on a 5, and I'll just check the Phoenix side out at this point. It's yeah. I mean, when do they play next is the key point here for subs. They've got a week, so they'll leave it. Less is more, and I'll just stick to that. So, any choice, David? We'll get started as soon as we get going again. We'll get started as soon as we get going. That's a great comment, isn't it? It's absolutely factual. Yeah, those people who see it out, those people who are thinking, oh, Chuck Megaros sounds weird today. Yep, that's flowers for you. That's hay fever. Horrendous. Um, I mean, it's a red card. It's a red
Oh my
card, and it
god.
is Robin. It is Robin. He's gone 9 men. I'm going to do this in the suggestion that that's what you're going to want, but that's 9 men. By the way, you do not have to play wide, and you do not have to play 3 at the back when you're on 9 men. So, if you want to make any changes, go ahead. Yeah, Tim Flowers. That's it. It must be a full moon. Yeah, it's not going so well for the team, is it? For the Wolves in this, they're certainly getting more aggressive with that full moon. You're absolutely right. That will do. Just do that. Let's go ahead with it.
Andrew will probably be sat watching this thinking, thank God I wasn't in charge for this one.
It's Cafu. Cafu has scored from his right wing back position, 4-0. I mean, you'd take 4-0 if you had 9 men. I suggested it with 11 men that 4-0 wouldn't be the worst result. And yeah, 4-0, very comfortable. The fact that Wolves came forward a little bit towards the end is something.
Admirable.
Yeah, it's one to put down as we'll never see that kind of performance again from Wolves. And Neil Sullivan was the only person who meant that it wasn't an absolute clean sweep of ratings versus ratings.
Yeah, it's one of those where there's not much to say. The screen as it is tells you everything. 2 red cards, 3 penalties. Everything was just, they were essentially on a tilt table where everything was going in the way of Phoenix. It couldn't have been more one-sided,
No.
If you wanted it to be.
No, and this result, obviously, the start of the day, puts Phoenix top of the league. I think I'm not going to click on it because the whole league table in that way gets flipped around with people getting 1 point for a draw they haven't even played. So I think looking at your screens, because I can't see it behind mine. Let's see if I can move it around a bit. It'll put them on goal difference. I think top of the league as it stands. You can all see it much better than I can. Yeah, Phoenix, great performances. I mean, obviously Shearer's had extra shots, but all he's done is score penalties. But Cafu's done well. Assist for Montero and for Larson. I assume one of them was winning a penalty. And Lizarazu winning absolutely every tackle that came at him.
Lizarazu is quite underrated, I've found. He seems to... He's another player who, in Super League terms, is very consistent. And he's not someone many people think of naturally when they're talking about the great left backs or left wing backs of the game. But his ratings and performances are generally quite stellar.
Yeah, I played Lizarazu quite a lot as Bayern manager. Sort of ended up rotating a little bit with Milevski as a left back. I found him very useful as a left back in the game. But yeah, it was decent to have Lizarazu there for all 5 seasons in my team. I mean, look at that. I mean, some players haven't even put 10 passes together. I know they haven't lasted the 90 minutes, any of those, but they haven't put 10 passes together in an hour.
It's pathetic for professional footballers, really, isn't it?
So yeah, welcome back, Wolfie. Definitely. Yeah, things can only get better for the away teams tonight as well. Racers versus Ewan. We will do this game now, and then we'll go to the Badgers game next, regardless of what's happening. So Racers versus Ewan, a battle of 2 sides where you'd have expected Racers to be ahead of Ewan this season, and it's completely the opposite. Ewan looking a quality side. We've already had a quick look at Racers. For today, they're missing Chris Coleman through suspension, and so Danny Gabardon fills in.
Yeah, but it's what happens the other end of the pitch that interests me. If you look sort of speed upwards, I mentioned Bellamy, I mentioned Kumas, I mentioned Earnshaw. They've got some decent players that on their day can certainly turn it on and change a game. Um, so yeah, no, it's certainly not a terrible side put out here by Jamie.
No, no, it's not, is it? There's something decent about them, really. They're pretty solid, but they're going down. uh, so yeah, Mike Savage saying that Robbie Savage will be absolutely vital to this game, and that Racers will win 2-0 for Ewan. There is a change to the starting lineup, just the one, that Blinkhorn is recalled, and Kimmins is now down to the bench.
See, it's interesting that you said that Racers would be ahead of Ewan, and when you look at some of the names, you can understand why. But it's one of them teams where you sprinkle in your Saviolas, your Vieiras, and it certainly changes the outlook. You know, you've got arguably the best defensive midfielder in
Oh
some
yeah,
people's
yeah.
mind, player in the game. So that if you've got him, then you're not going to be that bad. Saviola, a lot of people rate as in the top 10 strikers on the game. So if you've got one of the top 10 strikers, you're not going to be in that much bother. But no, I do understand. Like I say, some of the other names in the squad perhaps not as familiar.
But great
Not
to
as
see Philip Salt back on the bench.
Yes, I know I know you're a fan of Salt. Not so much of his cousin Vinegar. Mm.
Zoltan Gera, yeah, is he in the squad as well? Yeah, it'd be great to see if he was in the team. It'd be even better. But didn't play for Hyde United, unlike Saviola. Yeah, 2-2 says Quinton. I mean, Yapstam's close to a return, so that's something positive for them. But ninth in the league, and still plenty of calls for Mr. Shaw, despite the fact he's predicting his team to lose. No, hang on. No, he thinks his team to win. He can't see us getting anything here, but he's going for a 3-1 away win. You're going for your own team to win. Yeah, lots of calls for him as manager of the year in the league, which is great news for the underdog.
Yeah, and it shows the respect people have for the job he's managed to do. But I'm gonna say Racers win this 2-0.
2-0 to keep their survival hopes alive. Cecil Salin referee in this one. We've had a couple of predictions in. We actually have 3 predictions in, plus yours as well. So let's get going. Defeat, yes, going for defeat. And we'll kick off. Oh, Racers, since they've been sacked, it's all slowed down again.
What is going on with the red cards tonight?
Wow. Right. Okay. Now I'm kind of a little bit more on Stephen Shaw's side here. Yeah. Quite possibly a defeat. Are you just gonna I'm gonna put Blinkhorn Central. If you want me to change it, I'll shift it back over. 2 yellows. Yeah, Quinton, you pointed out 2 yellows. You're absolutely right. I wonder if he's got a yellow and then had to go at the ref. It must have been, Blinkhorn Central. Wow. You certainly didn't expect that in any way. And yet, it's Blinkhorn with the chance.
That's an interesting move for me. I would have been tempted to leave him to one side and have Karlstrom with a diagonal arrow.
Oh, we might see that sort of thing a bit later on tonight, maybe, from one team. It's certainly Ewan have been attacking, and then here goes Earnshaw down the other end, and it's 1-0. We've got Rimmer taking a yellow as well. It's three red cards in what was 92 minutes of football. Yeah, indeed. Vieiras had a chance. Ewan have had more opportunities to score, and yet Racers took their one chance. I haven't seen them had much else.
The man you would back to take them for Ewan is the man who talked himself into a red card.
Yeah, quite likely. Blinkhorn has a chance. He has a chance to get a goal. And there it is. It's 1-1. Matthew Blinkhorn. You've got to say that's not a bad first half to say you've lost your star striker.
No, completely agree. The only slight difference I would say is I find it's a lot easier to continue when you lose a striker than it is when you lose, like, obviously a defender or a goalkeeper,
Yeah.
because that's the whole balance. Losing a striker, a lot of teams will naturally play one up front these days anyway. Um, but yeah, certainly an impressive performance considering their numerical disadvantage.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at Ewan in case any subs are required. I'm going to suggest probably not at this point. Foster and Flitcroft, the only two below 90 performances as they are. But yeah, let me know if you want any changes or not. Go to that match report. Yeah, so he's gone into a challenge and then he's furious with the ref. So straight away takes that red card in the second minute of the match. That's 1 minute
It's just
something.
it's just petulance, isn't it? To get booked and then talk yourself into a red card is nothing but petulance.
It's totally unnecessary at that time of game. And yeah, I mean, to get the yellow card is a little bit silly in that first 2 minutes as well, but the second yellow, inexcusable. Yeah, look at that. I mean, racers will be sticking with what they've got for the game anyway. No subs till 60 minutes for either side, at least. Let's get going, because and now we've got an injury to Nicky Hill. So they've started both halves really well here, haven't they? Nicky Hill out. I mean, my personal choice is John O'Kane here, rather than worst defender in the world, Chris McCready. But we'll see what happens at this point. There surely isn't a much worse defender. Kimmins up front for Hill. You must play 3 at the back though, because you are still on 10 men. So just let me know if you want to put Carl Laurie into defence maybe at this point. If you do want to put Kimmins up front, you must have 3 at the back until you get your second red, which I'm predicting. So
there's clearly some sort of glitch going on at the minute. There was no away wins last week, and every away team is getting absolutely crucified for players.
Getting pummeled. So let's see if he's making a reconsideration of things at this point. The OK word was there. Unless Vieira central. Laurie to the back. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think that's what he's alluding to.
It's Kimmins up front for Nicky Hill. There we are. And Hill is... Oh, it's not Hill. I'm even considering Kimmins right only. I'm going to put him that side. There we go. Right. Let's go for it. If you want any arrows, just let us know. I'll switch it over ASAP. Right, anyway, so we're 1-1. They've lost 2 players from their first team. One that couldn't be replaced, one that could. And certainly racers are tipping it slightly in their favour at the moment. A chance there could save from Schalkvist. And we're now at the sub-time. But we're certainly for sub-time. And it took a bit of time getting there. Yep, going for it, absolutely. Good night, Wolfie. Good to have you on for the show. And hopefully next time you'll have something to cheer
You'll have
about.
more than 1.5 games.
So there we are. We've got nobody really injured, to be honest. I mean, Foster has got a potential shin injury, but he's still at 84%. Flitcroft is okay. And your ratings wise, there they are. So
would you be tempted, given what we saw in the last game, to swap Rimmer?
I mean, from my point of view, without Yapstam, there's no alternative to keep Rimmer on the pitch. But
Okay.
yeah, I do know what you mean. John O'Kane's not too bad. He's not too bad at all.
But he's no Yapstam.
He's absolutely no Yapstam. Sorry, yeah, hay fever getting to me there. Carry on, please. There we go. And we'll just check for any glaring injuries. Nope, nothing at all. On we go with the rest of the game. 70 minutes into the match. We're very, very finely poised. And there's a chance for Kimmins, who puts it wide. And it's just very much, there's more pink than there is yellow at the moment. But then going forward, every time racers go forward, they look like they've got a chance of scoring.
Yeah.
Giggs has missed. And they are coming into this a little bit more towards the end of the game. Will a draw be a fair result? Will there be a winner? Blinkhorn has scored a winner for
Oh!
Ewan. Unbelievable. He's had a chance for a hat trick then.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the word.
That's why racers are going down.
Because against 10 men, as Wooder turns up there, Dragons co-manager extraordinaire, turns up to see racers. I mean, there's the overview, Wooder. 2 minutes in, Saviola sent off. Earnshaw put racers in the lead, and Matthew Blinkhorn has scored. Is that in injury time in both halves, or just the 45th minute in both halves? That's injury time.
Injury time, I'd say.
And that looks like injury time as well. Wow.
Play to the whistle, as they say.
That is incredible. That's incredible. Match stats show that it was an even game.
Even game. But it shouldn't be an even game when the away side have someone sent off. The home side should dominate. So, racers, I'm afraid, get no sympathy from me.
No, I don't think there's any. He's Steve dead. Yeah, just MIA. I think he's just.
Have you not got some form of date or something tonight? I think that's where he's been.
It's quite possible, isn't it? It's quite possible, but yeah. I mean, he did the right thing. If he wasn't a date tonight, it's the right night to do it because there was nothing on telly, nothing good on to watch anyway. So yeah, fair play. But without a shadow of a doubt, he should be watching this with her, surely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I wonder. I hope she's wearing socks.
Yeah, Steve is a big fan of socks.
So yeah, I mean, racers. It was pretty dull from racers for quite a bit of the game. Earnshaw a bright spark. Melville doing fairly well in defence. You called him out to be decent before the match. And
That's
yeah,
right.
look at that from Ewan for how they've held on with 10 men and then snatched a late winner.
Yeah, I've got a lot of respect for that performance and that result. Congratulations.
And that moves them further up the table as far as things go for now. Into game 3, we are going to go. I don't know. Tato might well be asleep. We'll go to this game. Tato, if you're around, give us a shout for next game. But we're going to watch Hulls versus Falaraki next, which Falaraki won last match and Hulls didn't win this one. I know there's a couple of things I need to change for Falaraki before they start, but Hulls go unchanged from last time out.
Yeah, I mean, Hulls are an
he's
interest.
here. He's here. There we are. We'll go over to Badgers now. He is here. He's left a whole year before going in there, but yeah, we'll go in. Badgers versus Trafford. Badgers for today, they make one change, as you can see there that Dave Barnett is suspended, and stepping into the team comes Foster. A reluctant decision to put Foster in the team, but there he is, and that's the lineup for today.
Reluctant because he didn't want to, but there's no better options?
That's it, yeah. I mean, Frederick Risp is banished to the reserves and won't be here for the... he won't be recalled off the reserves for the rest of the season.
Right. It's an interesting one. There's a lot of well-established champ names in the team. It's a formation we've seen already once before tonight. But there's a lot to admire about the team because there's some slightly lesser known names as well. Interesting to see Duff and Finnan playing so high.
Yeah, it's not been doing too badly for them in recent games, to be honest. It's been. I mean, I think Finnan was playing on the left-hand side there when he got his 10.
Okay, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Badgers cope tonight
with Trafford as the opponents. The
Exactly.
don't speak of him, I assume, was about Frederick Risp rather than Stee, but we shall see. Onto this one, Dadji's side for today, who of course they didn't win last game, they got a draw. Cannavaro's out,
Yep.
and I think he's the only change to starting lineup that Cannavaro out and Jai into the lineup. So,
It
very
doesn't
much weakened.
exactly. Yeah, I was going to say it doesn't exactly weaken, does it?
No, it's a quality squad all round.
And a traditional home safe formation as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's victory surely for Trafford all over this, but Tato was the one who beat Phoenix.
Yeah, it's one of them where you would fully expect Trafford to win. However, as you said, Badgers have previous against this sort of opposition, and also we've seen the away teams are getting absolutely destroyed for players, so that could give Badgers some impetus as well.
One thing I hadn't done tonight is look at previous meetings between teams, and it was 1-0 with
Not many teams only keep Trafford to 1, to be fair.
It's not bad at all, is it? That result is not bad at all. We will just take a look at the other games that we had here. If Daji doesn't beat him by at least 4, he should be fired immediately.
I think I've said that just quite a few managers since I've took charge of Flamingo, including, if I remember rightly, Tato.
Yes, yeah, I think you did actually. Look at last time Ewan played Racers. Injury after 3 minutes. No red card, but an injury after 3 minutes, and they still won the game. So well done to them. And the other game, of course, we did need to go to have a look at from. Oh no, what's the other teams? What was the other game we've had tonight? We've had Wolves. Last time Wolves played Phoenix, it was only 2-1. It's only 2-1, and Darren Anderton had scored in that game. So anyway, predictions for this one then from everyone.
I'm going to go 1-1.
Going for 1-1 with Sarlin refereeing. I think he's Shettle Sarlin refereed the last game, so there were 2 Sarlins refereeing in the league.
Am I right to leave this one with you while I pop to the loo?
Oh, of course. And 4-1 says Quinton to Trafford. Wooder says not bothered, which is his standard prediction. And hopefully, if he hasn't taken his headset to the toilet. 2-1 to Badgers says Tato, and 3 to the Badgers says Savage. Unless he just likes 3 Badgers. It's quite possible. We kick off the match from the set, and we are 5 minutes in, and there's been no real chance. If Ron's taking a yellow card, you take down Scally then, and then a chance for Sigalko results in nothing, not even testing Davy Priest, and then another one that does find a save, 2-0 to Roberto Baggio, and with his magical kicks are definitely going to go in the net. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? This game is kind of a bit end-to-end without a whole lot going on. Trafford now starting to put their domination in, and Emerson does score the opening goal for Trafford. 5 minutes to half-time, Finnan to Collins, and it's 1-1. Wow, 1-1, which is... and Trafford are under attack now from the Badgers, and we go into half-time. Oh, another chance for Walker. It's been an interesting first half, to say the least. Look at that. Neil Scally on a 9. Emerson with goals. Collins with the goal. Scally assist. Defo. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we had to take a look at that and he did get it. It's been pretty close round here. Shots are quite similar. It wasn't an assist from Scally. He's just putting in so many tackles and so many headers and interceptions. He's doing a great job with that. It's David Collins with the goal, assisted by Justin Walker, and Tato is already making a substitute here. He's taking off Sullivan for the old Prime Minister. Yes, 1-1 at half time. 5 feet was Emerson scoring late in the half, and David Collins with an equaliser after that. So it's been a decent game, to be honest.
And I said 1-1 before the
You
kickoff
did
as well.
indeed. It's a very close game. 4 shots, 2 on target, and 3 shots, 2 on target. So, yeah, look at that. I mean, Daji, I'm going to go to Daji's data. He's always there with his selections for the teams and take a look at this. So if drawing or losing, 85% or under to come off, which, taking a look down there, is nobody, and anyone 5 or under, there's nobody to go. Okay, so we've got 60 minutes as Sullivan off, Cameron on has been made for Badgers already, and I'm going to check that that was definitely made there. Yeah, good, I haven't done it wrong. So yeah, Tato challenging Dadji, who's not here currently but will watch the show. He always watches, see what goes on. Is he nervous? He's in the lead though. Van Nistelrooy's got the goal, and Finnan takes a yellow card. It seems much more Trafford at this point. Subs are on the way, and we'll have a look here. So there's your ratings, Tato. I know you love condition. You love making sure everyone's really fully fit. I mean, Finnan's the only one with a bit of a thing. He's got a card and a bad foot. And for rating wise,
Bad foot.
Yeah, just bad foot. There we are. It's coming off. It's half off. Any changes there? I'm sure you'll be making some. We'll go over to Trafford. Dadji's subs, so they are leading now. Anyone 85% or under is a first criteria. We're down to 2 of them. That's Vieira, who would come off, well, without changing. Yes, that's an interesting way of putting it. Without changing players' positions around, Barry Ferguson becomes the most obvious substitute there.
I would say so.
And Sigalko would come off directly for. Well, Tomadera is a regular substitute at this point, and they are winning sub-booked players. Well, Sigalko's gone off, so Veron will be the extra player to go off, and it'll be all 3 subs. And Beckham is the likely change here. I think Beckham's played 9 league games. He's played 9 as well. Beckham will come on at this point for Veron.
This is very reminiscent of the Belgian game, was it yesterday, where they were able to just bring on a wealth of talent off the bench compared to their opposition, Denmark, obviously it was, who didn't quite have the same level of elitism on the bench.
Yeah, this being able to bring on Kevin De Bruyne, he's not too bad, is it? So what was the change? We got to Yavanov for McPhee. There we are. Nanny McPhee.
Big fan of. I'm backing Badgers here at this point because I'm a big fan of McPhee. Although I would say he's left-footed and now he's playing on the right.
In this one, he's a right.
He's right on this one.
Yeah.
He's normally.
He gets a bit. I think he's got mixed feet. I think he's not necessarily fixed on his feet. Chance for Cameron to equalise. This has been a bit more Badgers at this point. Cameron Walker's hit the bar. I can't see Trafford getting out of their half at the moment, and it's a close one. Not a lot going on. Another chance, McPhee.
Ooh.
This is all Badgers. They're absolutely pinning them back, but this is going to be 2-1, is it? Emerson with a late chance, and it is full time, 2-1. So according to Tato, Dadji has to resign, and 2 people immediately chucking in there: Quinton and Tato, Stephen McPhee.
I thought Badgers were quite unfortunate there. To be fair, they certainly rallied towards the end.
Do Badgers lay eggs? Yes, Woody. Yes, yeah, Badgers lay eggs. Yeah, simple as. Look at the goalkeeper difference there. Priest 5, Khan 8. Why?
I really do struggle with ratings at time. I don't understand how certain players get certain ratings and others get others, because 2 players who can have very similar performances seemingly get different ratings entirely.
I suppose he's made 1 save out of 3 and he's made 3 saves out of 4, but I mean, Badgers do lay eggs, Tato. Badgers lay eggs. I'll stop it. So the most informed goalkeeper in the in the Division 1. Yeah, he was on form. He's on superb form, doing really, really well, and that's a game that's let him down a bit. But I mean, they've had a good game. They haven't played badly at all.
No, there's certainly positives to take from it.
Scally's performance is superb.
Yep.
Justin Lee Collins in defence as well. Yeah.
It's just one of them days where, again, as we see a lot at the moment with the way the team's set up, those with the really, really strong elitist squads just tend to have that little bit extra to see them over the line against the slightly more sort of concept teams.
Just having that, but yeah, there won't be many of these teams left next season. There won't be many of these at all. Probably 2 or 3.
No, from what I understand, next year's sounding like it could be really fun in both divisions because I think people are embracing not having so much of an elitist attitude, and we're going to see a lot more new names, if you like.
Which is what we want to see. We want to see, in fact, fewer clones. I mean, I don't mind making the clones, obviously, but I think the more different players that we get, the almost more interesting it gets, doesn't it? It's like not seeing 17 Van Nistelrooys in a 14-team division or whatever. Yeah. So are badgers mammals? No, reptiles.
I'm slightly confused if Tato's raging at the result or raging at the fact that you keep telling him the badgers lay eggs.
No, he knows that badgers lay eggs. He knows. So he's just like having a laugh that they don't. But yeah, I mean, they are the only haired reptile. We all know that. It's just commonplace fact.
In direct reply to Wooder, we all know that we're all here to have fun on socials.
Come on. So Scally man of the match. 1-1. Now we go back to Hulls versus Falaraki, and we're starting off at the Falaraki side by the look of it. So yeah, Falaraki, I do need to make a couple of changes. Just when I know. Yeah, hairy eggs is. I mean, it's more fur. It's more like fluffy eggs. Yeah, I do.
Have you never bought like a dozen eggs from the supermarket, and there's the odd one of them that automatically comes with a feather?
The M&S Badger eggs. Yeah, everyone knows about M&S Badger eggs.
It always freaks me out if I open the box and there's an egg with a feather on it. I'm like, no, I can't have that one.
Most of them are double Yorkers as well, aren't they? You get those ones. Anyway, just talk us through the Falaraki side for today.
Well, seems to like an arrow. That's for sure. Very attack minded. I like the defensive unit. From the goalkeeper up to Gerard, I quite like that. Very strong. Robin, obviously, we know what he's capable of. Hargreaves is a player who I quite like having in the squad, but I'm not sure I would have him as my first choice right winger necessarily.
No, I know what you mean. He's quite advanced as far as I'd play him, but yeah, I'd probably stick him more right back, defensive mid, left back, left wing back, something like that. But yeah, how's he been doing recently in this position? You can't say fairer than average. He's been doing all right. He's getting a run.
He's doing himself no harm, building a reputation. The three behind the striker are three players. Obviously, I know a fair bit about. A lot of people automatically put Ronaldinho out on the left. I actually find I've got better out of him slightly playing from the right-hand side. Mainly because obviously he's a right-footed FLC, but I tend to put him on the right because he's right-footed.
You just go on their feet, yeah. Because it's still in this area, still technically central, other than the team of the week.
But no, to be fair to Falaraki, they don't really have a weak position there.
No.
Anyone would be quite happy to have any of those players. There's not really one there you look and think, oh, do you know what? I don't really get why they're in the team. And then you look at the subs as well. We've mentioned Saviola in a previous team. D'Alessandro's a player a lot of people like. I'm not a massive fan personally, but a lot of people do like him. Whereas Eto'o, I am a fan of. I think he's drastically underrated on the game. Van der Vaart is excellent. Maresca's one that people talk about online. He's one of those sort of champ cult heroes. Woodgate starts good and develops to be excellent, and Costanzo much the same as well.
Yeah, there's some. I mean, Costanzo. I had Costanzo down as my top keeper in the game. He started so poorly this season. I haven't played him since. But can we just in the chat? Can we just stop putting myths about Badger eggs? They're not stripy. There's not a black yolk and a white yolk. But they are fluffy. So seriously, sort it, or well, this dream ends. Okay, but yeah, yeah.
Just to clarify for Wooder, because I know he likes it when these sort of rants go out on live shows. That means no more talking about Badger's eggs.
Oh no. Badger's eggs talking about this fine, but spreading clear lies about them is just not allowed. Yeah, just come on. We're all 50-odd-year-old men here. Come on, let's go on with it. So anyway, Falaraki looking good. Hulls also looking good. And you said there's something like the thing about Hulls is, and then I stopped you. So go for it.
I've lost my train of thought on that now, but all I will say is obviously Hulls have a very talented squad, and they've managed to get a talented squad in the concept which is quite an interesting feat to get. When you get a concept, normally you get a few good players and then a few sort of but the one name brigade is doing Jens all right. The only thing I would say is he seems to be having very much a crossover, as I understand, that is his Swemp team's just starting to fall apart at the same time as his Super League team's completely falling apart, and he's not the happiest I've ever known him at the moment.
No, it's I've been gutted. I had early season, like even before the season started, I had Hulls down as potential in the Super League. I had him down as a top 3 team, and something's just not worked.
I said they would win it.
And
I said they'd win the whole thing.
Yeah, he's rebuilding for next season, which is obviously important at this point. And I had Hulls down as top 3 in this league, of course. I think they're going to be. I don't know. Do I say I think they're going to be in there? Because East Coast are looking good as well. It's interesting. But
I wouldn't bet against them finishing 3rd at this point because of the start they had.
Yeah. East Coast are looking strong though as well. Stop discussing anyone who's a live mammal. So we can only discuss players like Sigalko and Yakubu and such like. That'd be alright to follow those. 2-1 Rogerio's a score for Hulls, says Quinton. Wooder says he's not bothered.
I'm going to go. I'm conscious of not predicting too many draws. So I'm going to say Falaraki actually with a surprise 2-1 win.
Falaraki, of course, the only side for the top half who won last game. Can they make it 2 out of 2? We're looking forward to a cracking match. 0-0. Off we go. And it starts off with, why is it slowed down? Why is the commentary slow in the Hulls game? I don't really understand that. Ronaldo has just missed it. Savage is going for 2-2. Early card for Soroczynski, the one sat in the middle of defence for Falaraki. Probably the least natural positioned one of anyone in there. Just for him being more of a wing-back, full-back kind of player, but he's holding out. The 0-0 at the moment. Agree's having a chance. Ball coming forward. Joe Cole with a shot as well. It's pretty much all Falaraki at the moment. What snacks are we all on then? Well, I'll talk to you about at half time about a lovely drink. Talk to you at half time then.
What it's worth, Tato, I don't have any snacks at the moment, but I've been left further disappointed by my Friday night because I recorded the Peter Crouch show that's on every now and again. and Maya Jama isn't wearing next to nothing this week. She's quite well covered up.
And that happened at the same time as Sigalko scored to make it 1-0. Let's just check the match report at that point. So Ronaldinho plays it into Sigalko, who scores a half volley. A great finish just on the stroke of half time. The teams look fairly even. The stats look much more in favour of Falaraki.
Yeah, well, I predicted them to win because, as you said, they were the team in slightly better form going into it. As I said, they are very strong all over the pitch as well. And they go in with a deserved lead looking at the stats, and it's just another case of Jens's team not really doing what he would A, be hoping they do, and B, replicating the form of the early part of the season. And full credit to Falaraki for doing that, because Halls is not an easy place to visit.
Not at all, no. I mean, native to Norway, of course. That's the issue there. Let's have a look at the chat before we go into the subs. So you've been lewd tweeting, apparently.
Apparently so. I mean, I didn't know I had.
That's the thing. When you don't know you've done it, but you've still done it, it's one of those things you got to question.
I mean, I would appreciate Tato perhaps sending me an example, because I'm normally very respectful.
Tato, if you want me to Photoshop anything, just let me know.
Yeah, basically. If someone could send a Photoshop tweet that I'd send, just so I have any idea what he's talking about.
In fact, send it to Mike Savage, because he's much better than I am. So, yeah, we've got to say, Tato, are you into cucumber?
I have been considering all night whether Tato's into cucumbers as well.
He's not into I hate cucumber. Like, it's probably the worst thing in the world. But at the same time, I like gherkins, which are essentially almost cucumbers. So I don't really get it. Yeah, I can't bring himself to watch the Peter Crouch thing, David.
Do you know what? It's actually all right.
Is it good?
It's not. It's not going to be winning any BAFTAs, but for what it is, the first show when it was on, I didn't watch it live. I'd recorded it, and I saw a lot of people trash it online as being crap. And I think a lot of sort of older, not old, but older people were comparing it to like shows Baddiel and Skinner would do in the mid to late 90s and stuff.
Yeah.
But for what it's worth, for what it is, and for what it's worth, it's actually quite good. You know, you get a bit of banterful conversation. You get Crouch talking to players involved in the Euros. You get a few celebrities on having a bit of a laugh, and people making a dick of themselves, failing to do the most basic football challenges.
So, when's Tony Hibbert been on?
I don't know.
That's
you would have to ask the BBC.
I think we need to find out when he's been on and when he will be on next time. So, Mike Savage has got cider. Wood on his cucumber miniatures.
Good lad, Mike Savage. Do you know what? I never really liked it. But for those that know me, I'm not a massive drinker. But in more recent years, when I was to have an adult beverage, I've slowly starting to like cider a little bit more, particularly pear cider.
Oh yes. I had a Magnus, because Steve's not here tonight. I had one in his honour earlier on. With what else we got here? So cucumber miniature is a gherkin, yep, which are much better than cucumbers. Tato was given a lovely list there of bad foods.
All allergies, so can't eat cucumber, apple, or pepper. So basically, Tato would be no good as a rabbit, is what we're saying.
See, I like the way that he's changed why he's got the allergy. Very well explained. The next bit there. Fifey, shut up, lad. That's good. A bad pear cider. Yes, I do remember, Mr. Savage. Yeah, a bad pear cider. That's what you said. No, I understand. But we need to get back on the find the sour beer at the next beer festival, and yeah, root vegetables. Yes, you can have root vegetables. We are all good with root vegetables in any orifice. Right, anyway, second half is about to kick off.
So conversation's taken a weird turn tonight. The topic clearly had issues with people's inner psyches.
Sweet corn is a good question. Yeah, you probably get lots of bits
Okay.
left inside. I love sweet corn. It's sub time. Sweet corn, yeah, raw or lubricated, yeah, fantastic. Get a load of butter on that, and you know, you can have fun for hours. But I mean,
It's like mushrooms. I don't know how people can eat mushrooms, but especially raw mushrooms.
no, not raw mushrooms. Cooked mushrooms, fantastic. Oh, yeah, I didn't say. Oh yeah, it comes down, it comes out, doesn't it, Quinton? You're right. Yeah, my lovely drink for tonight is basically effectively liquid tiramisu, roaster coaster from a mixture of Evil Twin Brewery and the company that oppresses all its staff. So yeah. Anyway, it's a very nice beer. 9%, lovely stuff.
I'm holding mine up, full in the knowledge that only you can see it, but I'm currently drinking my 1.25 litre bottle of Coke that I got with my Dominoes before the England game.
You say it's a bottle of Coke, it's a few lines, you know that. You're only three lines for tonight. We've got... so, if winning at 60 stays it is, Falaraki is still 1-0 up, yeah? Yeah, they are.
Woodard does ask some random questions. No one's going to make up having that list of allergies. So then question, is that a real list of allergies?
Just got a question for Steve. He's alive. Oh, that's good news. Right, it says here, if winning at 60, stay as it is. If Maxim hasn't scored at 60, subbing for Saviola, and then list for drawing and losing. Now,
well, he has scored.
He has scored, so we're okay. But if he hadn't scored, then and they were winning, what would I do? I don't know. I'll seek some clarification. Ronaldo, we're going to set Ronaldo off for Hulls, and Ronaldo's going to be redrawn for Raul as a one change there. Okay. Badger eggs, yeah, Quinton, I know your badger egg allergy is quite severe, so you know you just can't eat them.
Touch wood, I don't think I have any allergies. There's just some things I don't like.
I just don't like pollen being eaten by my eyes. It's horrible. We're on there 7 minutes or so to go. It's still 1-0 to Falaraki. After all this, there has been a match going on during this time, and we are now into the end of the match, and Falaraki have got the victory. Who out of the 8 of us is actually wearing underwear right now? Well, just me.
As it happens, Tato, I am.
2. That's amazing. Just 2 of us.
And that includes socks.
Yeah, I've got socks on as well. Yeah, nice work socks.
Yes, I can see them. You're showing them up to the camera for me.
Yeah, the weird thing is with the laptop sat on my lap, for me to be able to show you my socks is quite an achievement.
You're remarkably flexible for a man of your advancing years.
Quinton's wearing underwear. You've got your Fortuna deflection underwear on. I can probably... I would say
Jens, by the way, just to bring the subject back to its actual matter, Jens is going to be absolutely fuming looking at them stats.
They've played all right, haven't they?
Well, you say that, but if you go back to the match stats itself, no, not really.
Not in terms of shooting and stuff, but you know, individual performances have been quite good. It's not the worst, is it? Lots of eights.
Yeah, we've seen worse performances already tonight, but it's very much one of those. There's no point one or two of them getting an 8 if they're not encouraging the others to get an 8. You know, there's players there clearly not doing their job because they haven't. They're at home, and not only have they not won, but they've been second best in terms of attempts and stuff. So, the ratings I think sugarcoat how negative Jens is going to look at that.
And it's a very nice link, that, is it? From Three Lions to Sugar-Coated Icebergs, another Lightning Seed song going on there. In a lovely little link. Tato is he's got socks.
Tato's convincing me.
It sounds like his socks are on fire with the sound he's making. No shots on target for the strikers. Yeah, Ronaldo has missed elbow, hasn't had a shot. Raul hasn't had a shot.
You know what? Since getting involved in Swem, what I've liked is Quinton's always on the point and only on the point. He's only interested in the football. He's not falling in line with all this Tato talking about men's underwear nonsense. He just wants to.
Apart from the fact he's saying he's wearing a bra.
Yeah, we're glossing over that because he's trying to discuss the lack of efforts from the strikers.
Well, lack of efforts from strikers, yeah, and then go to the other team. Sigalko, 2 out of 4 on target, gets the goal. Soroczynski's had a bit of a nightmare in defence, but they haven't had to worry because Hulls couldn't hit the target. So, yeah, it's Mike's taking his socks off, and I'm going to take one sock off.
To paraphrase Gary Neville's A-text punditry, Hulls are in a bad moment.
A bad moment. And going from a bad moment to a bad team.
To just bad.
Oh, Quinton's pointing out the 59,998 crowd at the Hulls Falaraki match. Yeah, it's certainly quite the crowd. Falaraki Hulls, last time they played each other was 4-3 to Hulls. What an absolute blinding match that was of the first half. It's so good I forgot about it. And for Flamingos versus Imagine Madrid, last time round it was 3-0 and Johansson played in goal. So Brungelson today will be hoping to play better.
Yeah, so obviously my I was about to say that's not the tactic I sent, and then I remembered, yes it is.
Yeah,
You know?
imagine I just made one up for you.
It's been a long week. You've decided that I'm clearly not up to the task of just picking your own team. Ultimately, there's nothing needs saying that hasn't been said before. This is an impossible task, and we're just trying to keep the belief that we will at some point get a point.
This is a chance, isn't it? Des playing behind Tyler Martin. I mean, that's a great setup there. Minarelli central. I don't know enough about him at all. Malmstrom and Christensen playing at the
any
back.
Of the players.
With Malmstrom and Christensen at the back, you are going attacking.
That's just because all the other players are shit. Basically, this team is the players with the best average ratings so far this season. And bear in mind, I've got no problem admitting, I only have one player averaging 7.0 or above this season. And I think he's now suspended because it was the goalkeeper.
Yarstein, there he is. A 6.6.
I mean, I'm happy. Oh, maybe this is the good goalkeeper then that's come in. But yeah, I'm happy for you to show the average ratings just to show how shit.
There he is. Yeah, but he's conceded 19 in 4 and a bit.
I mean, you explain how that's getting a 7.2 rating.
Good old Bungle, look at that. I mean, has he shipped like 6 in one game there? We've got to see. How does Montari make the bench if you're doing it on ratings? Montari's 5.78 in the league.
The subs are done basically to have positions available because I don't know. There's nothing much else I can try. This team has about 5. This team's got 3 players with tackling 10 or higher in the whole squad, and one of them's the youth regen that you've let me bring into the first team.
Is that Darla? Yeah, Darla, there he is.
I've got 6. I think I've got like 6 strikers.
Yeah.
Who have scored a combined 4 goals between them.
And you're playing one who's got 3 of them.
Yeah, exactly. Tyler Martin, to be fair to him, and I know a few people did. I didn't really know much about him before being given this gem of a job at Flamingos, but he's actually been one of 3 players who's been superb. And and giving him a bit of credit, because when I came in, Samba was the obvious choice, Gorselin, Tolly. But Talon Martin's the one that I've actually played the most because he's actually been relatively consistent. I mean, he's not scoring goals for fun, but at least he's getting 6s and 7s as opposed to 4s and 5s like everyone else.
Yeah, he's certainly a player that you need to kind of be aware of from the start of a game and track him through a career, because he can be very different from game to game. But yeah, I do try and put offers in, and most of the time it just gets turned down because he wants to stay in Australia for the first season or two. Unless you make every country in the world EU, and they'll probably go anywhere he likes. That's how I found it anyway. Yeah, so Bungle in goal today with as many goals conceded. Johansson, who played last time the two sides played each other, and yeah, he's not in goal. Do Flamingos legs? No, that was stupid. So it's superb by Flamingo standards, definitely the words there. Predictions.
We haven't even seen the other teams
I
yet.
don't care. No, we've seen Flamingos. No, I forgot.
4-0 Madrid.
They're unchanged. They're unchanged completely from last time out.
I mean, you look at that team, it's just men against boys again, isn't it?
Literally.
Literally men against boys.
I mean...
Although Robin, is he still old enough to have actually been part of the Flamingos team?
I believe that he probably could have. I can't remember if they were started off at under-17s or they finished at under-17s. So if it was the case, he could have played for Flamingos. A point for Flamingos, or he needs to resign.
No, I think because Tato said above that it should be 6-0 to Madrid,
or resigning. That makes more sense. 4-1-3-2 should be banned. Well, it beats playing. It's a believable formation. It's a believable formation, and that's why I haven't gone for two at the back in this league. I've gone for people to be a bit more creative than two at the back and narrow. So yeah, it's certainly, it makes it different to other leagues. That's the whole point of this. Anyway,
what you're
Fowler and
saying
Smith
is you get bored of the Super League, everyone playing 2-7-1.
No, I'm not bored of that. That's got its place. That's the elite stuff. This is I want people to be a bit more creative, even if they use a default formation. It almost seems more creative.
Let's just note there that Madrid striker Alan Smith has higher tackling than every member of the Flamingos
and
squad.
Robbie Fowler, pretty much as well.
Unbelievable.
The Talon Martin 1,000 goal challenge. It was a good read. Yeah, he got. I think it was 3.5 seasons, wasn't it? He made it, so that was pretty good.
Well, he ain't getting that of Flamingos, that's for sure.
Right, now it's prediction time.
I'm going to say I'll be happy if we keep it to the 3-0 they lost the first time.
Which wouldn't be too bad at all, really, would it? It wouldn't be too bad.
I can't wait to get rid of this kit so I can actually read what's happening.
That's the issue. That is the issue. Talon Martin doesn't lay eggs, but his wife does. The Kevin Kyle challenge. 5-1 says Savage. And Wooder says,
come on, Mike, you're better than that.
Wooder says not bothered. And it's 1-0 already, and Alan Smith has scored. A Robin hat-trick has been predicted in this. I mean, will he? This is an incredibly difficult game to read. And there's been a save from Petr Cech at some point, so Flamingos are coming into this game a little bit. Yep, Davy's doing alright with the colours. He's with the colour blindness is certainly helping in this one. Malmstrom's out. He is gone.
Fan favourite Sully Montari, please.
Right, surely he can't play worse than usual. If he gets a 6, he's on his way up.
He's telling
Martin a mammal. Does anyone read that book? Does anything eat Talon Martin? It's a good one. It's quite an interesting read. It's 1-0 so far. We're getting close to half time. Aquilani's been brought down by Smirty, who takes a yellow card. And Flamingos have scored.
We've scored a goal. We've scored a goal. We've scored a
And
goal.
Robbie Fowler has gone off
We've
injured.
scored a goal.
Kesman's
We've scored a
played
goal.
14. Joe Johnson's played 1 and Anelka has played 2. That is Kesman coming on for Robbie Fowler. Tyler Martin shoots and lead. Yes, that is a great book as well, Wooder. Yeah. Just a picture of your mum what eating Talon Martin. I don't know what way to kind of. It was Des Fayoasso with the goal.
It was Des.
Des Fayoasso has scored the goal. That's all.
I mean, it shows how shit we are that we're currently 1-1 and all our players
Oh
on
no,
6.
they're currently 2-1 down with Robin scoring. You blink and you miss it in these kind of games. Brungleson has conceded. It's 3-1, and Alan Smith has scored again.
You know what, that's a shame. That's a
Now it's
real
half
shame.
time. Des on a 7. Sully Montari on a 6.
Yes.
And there's the summary. Imagine Madrid.
Do you know what? We're
hitting
well
the
in this
target.
game as well. It's such a shame that defensively we're shit.
Yeah,
What we need is a team of talent minds.
Yeah, a team of Tyler Martins would be what everybody wants. It'd be absolutely everybody wants. I just had a message from Quinton saying I have to.
Hey, what the fuck's going on in the comments?
No, Quinton might not be around for his match. We'll put it on. We'll put it on last in case he does get to come back, but he has had to go somewhere temporarily. So yeah, he's. That's what Mummy Swemp wants. Oh, Mummy Swemp. Mummy Swemp. If Quinton was here to defend Mummy Swemp as well, it would be.
Can you bring Stocker on for Darla, please?
Stocker for Darla, the youth player reserve switch going on. Any other changes or just that one?
No, that's it for now, thank you.
Save one for 60. And Imagine Madrid don't do subs. They say their initial instruction was no plans. So we'll just take a quick look at Flamingos, how they're doing. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, that's a good summary. And Imagine Madrid, Robin is
But
tackle
what
master.
the thing is, this is about the ratings though, because we've got equal. You know, we've had one shot less than Madrid, and yet they've got all 8s and 9s, and we've got 6s.
I think Robin deserves what he's got with the tackling, but I mean, some players
I think
actually calls
Robin
missed every
and
tackle.
Smerton, I think Robin and Smerton will deserve their red cards. I'm waiting for the time. Eventually, someone's going to get bored when they come up against Flamingos, and they're going to play with like no goalkeeper. And I'm looking forward to seeing if we can even get, because Flamingos, as I understand, haven't scored more than 1 goal in any game this season. I'm looking forward to, if we play a team with no goalkeeper, could we score more than 1 goal?
Well, I have sort of closed the loophole of the no goalkeeper situation after the Iron Curtain Cup game. But
fiasco.
you've got the rest of the season. You have Iron Curtain next, who will be forced to play a goalkeeper, and then Trafford. That's how I call them well. And East Coast before the end of the season, and that is
Dimble will give me a chance.
the challenge is to see if Flamingos can not concede 100 goals.
How many have I got
I
left?
think you're on 84 with 4.5 games to go.
And there's no way of playing all 3 goalkeepers.
Yeah, you could, but they won't all be in goal. See in the second half goes. Imagine Madrid on the attack straight away. This has been and Alan Smith scores a hat trick. It's been a long show, but not in a bad way by any means. It's 5-1, and Kesman has scored, and after that 1, it's now 5-1. I'll check your conditions
I know
for
I
you.
was taking on, and I appreciate I was taking on the impossible task, but it does get a bit boring getting fucking 5 put past me every week.
It does. It's more of a case of just endure it, and then
When's the new season start? Fuck's sake.
You've only got to play
Can you
these
swap
4
the
more
keeper,
times.
please? The keeper's shit.
And so that's Cherno Samba, no, Rikard Johansson coming in goal for Brungelson.
And can I also make a quick tactical
Yeah,
change
of course,
as well?
yeah.
Because why not? Can I move? Is it Minarelli central? Put Cranchar up front with Martin, but swap him with Des. That's it, and then just a straight arrow on Cranchar, please.
There we are.
Why not? Let's see if going more attacking will stop us conceding goals.
You'd hope so. It's 5-1. I think that must mean 86 goals. 4 matches to go after this one. Another chance. Robin has just missed the target. 20
The
minutes
really
left.
annoying thing is these are second bottom in the league.
And they're currently about to go third bottom, back above Imagine Madrid above themselves, above the Racers, after dropping behind them after last game when Racers... Did Racers beat you last game? It's 6-1 and Alan Smith's got 4. Smirtine has been sent off.
I said he gets sent off.
You're absolutely right. There's no point in changing anything there, though, is there? With 3 minutes to go. Can they make it 7, or will it be 2? It's nothing. It's 6-1.
I don't know what was worse. That was arguably worse than the England game. Fucking pathetic.
The second half shot count certainly changed, didn't it?
Yeah, we were level bar one shot at half time. Oh well, back to the drawing board. Let's see how else I can try and not concede 6 a game.
You got tempted to go for a 5 and a 4, and then just shove someone up front. It's five defenders, 4 DMs.
I tried that a couple of games ago, if you remember. I even tried one as a sweeper to have an extra person even further back.
It's such a strange team. I mean, I actually think that the Mega Horse Juniors team I made, which featured even younger players than these, would probably have beaten these. It's a dire team, and well done for enduring it.
It's certainly an enduring.
Alan Smith, 4 goals from 5 shots on target. Well played to Smith. Plenty of goals there. I mean, his season tally now is 7 in 7, which is a decent record, isn't it? And it makes you wonder, would Matt have benefited from playing him more? More red cards for away teams.
It's 7 in 7 because he got 4 against me.
He's still doing all right, though, isn't he? He's still doing all right.
In answer to Tato's question about how big is my drawing board, I've got one for both. I've got one for the Flamingos and one for the Devils. The one for the Devils is as big as my stomach. The one for the Flamingos is as big as his ego.
It's quite the answer. It's almost like you rehearsed it. Yusuf rehearsed it. There he is, Yusuf Hersey for Allenwell. What a great season he's having at the moment. We've got for Allenwell an unchanged lineup for Robbie up against the East Coast. We'll just take a look before we go through the team. Last time they played each other, East Coast were 3-1 winners, and it was 1-1 at half time. So we've got a lot to look forward to today.
Yeah, and it's another team who have clear and obvious quality, although it's not one with the absolute elitist players. It's got some very, very talented players all across the pitch. And Casano is the one that interests me. He's not necessarily the one that springs to a lot of people's minds first and foremost, but he's certainly a very good player.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's been used quite well as a central midfielder for part of this season. Centre mid with an arrow has done quite well, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how they get on against the team. Probably a bit better than them, probably a little bit better than them in East Coast. It's going to be quite the match. We can see there Terry suspended, Castroman still out, and Luis Enrique out. And it leads to them making a couple of changes.
was just going to say, Wood is disgusted by my stomach. He should be embracing the dad bods of the world.
And so, I mean, East Coast, we've got John Terry missing at the back, so Okoronkwo's come in. There's been quite a few changes in that midfield, and Torricelli in quite an advanced position.
You know what? I don't have any issues with this East Coast team. They're trying something a bit different to everyone else, which is nice. I think I queried Etsabaria being up front last time. Last time I was on, and then he went and scored a couple of goals. So, you know, there's no questioning the Dimble.
Yeah, it's having Estebaria's having quite a decent season. I mean, Bonk's been, how has he been doing this season? You know, captain's example, really, isn't it? That, but he's not captain. He's captain of a lot of other teams, and he isn't captain here. Has your cat been sterilised? That's an interesting one.
Yes, he has.
Yeah, sanitised as well.
Yes, he's quite often using the old hand stuff at the moment on his paws just to make sure he doesn't catch any COVID.
Cat litter sanitizer. That's the way forward. Marcos Vinicius. Will we see Marcos Vinicius playing anything before the end of the season?
He'll play against Flamingos.
Last day of the season, he's got to do. I would imagine he's one of very few players in the league not to have played a match. Carlos Puyol as well, not played a game this season.
He'll play as well. Basically, anyone who's played less than sort of 5 games is almost certain to play. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Puyol starts in goal. Because Dimble by then will be ready last game of the season just to take the piss.
He's going to need. I mean, this game now, can he move ahead of Hulls with what's going on? Let's take a look at the table before this round. Goal difference wise, we're 18 and 15. Yeah, I think there is a good chance that East Coast, if they win, could go ahead of Hulls. If they lose, Allenwell are catching them up. Predictions?
Well, I'm not a big fan of green and white, so I'm going to go for East Coast 3-1.
East Coast 3-1, and there's lots of people talking about cats and vaccinations in the chat, whether they've seen anything to do. Savage is going 1-1. He's sticking away from the cat chat, and we shall see who comes out victorious in this one. I've been looking forward to this one. 1-0 to the Coast, says Tato, and it was such a great start that nothing happened. Estebaria's had a chance, and Davids, I think, followed it up, but Quixotes has made some good saves, and Montero has taken a yellow card. That's a surprise, isn't it? 13 minutes into this match, it's still 0-0, and it's definitely much more East Coast. Allenwell trying to get into this. Ilola's not had the best start to the match. Wooders going for an East Coast win. Close to half time, 0-0. Very little happening at times during this game. Big Dunk is out of the squad for today, Tato, and it's half time, 0-0, and I think the half passed relatively incident free, didn't it?
It did. East Coast was certainly the better team. You could see that from the text, and that's reflected in the stats. But yeah, Allenwell will be quite disappointed with that, I think.
Yeah, it's not like a typical Robbie team, is it? You know, they come out there, they give it a good go, and to look at East Coast at this point, Montero at 60 minutes.
Always gets a yellow card and always gets a 9.
Yeah, yellow card, 9, injury. I think 60 minutes, it's quite likely he'll need to withdraw. I mean, do East Coast have a game in a few days' time? That's worth checking as well. The next game, all of them playing in a week. Everyone's playing in 1 week time, actually. The 28th is the next round of fixtures. But, yeah, I think maybe if it's about preserving players and such like conditions, he's one to potentially go, even though he's having a great game. Keon's having a good game as well. Rustico, I mean, look at this. He's won 7 out of 8 tackles, and he's on a 6.
Yeah, this is what I was saying, that I don't always understand why certain players get certain ratings.
He's made
because
a
that
foul.
looks hard.
I don't think a foul's worth dropping down quite that much, though, is it?
No. But It's mainly the attacking players there, look, who are all getting the sixes, which will be the most disappointing thing. They're not really stamping their authority in the game and playing their way.
Yeah, as Burger King would say, have it your way. They're not having it their way. It's the East Coast way, but it's 0-0. And it's
They just need their big players to turn up. You know, you want to quote certain taglines of big name chain companies. As Tesco says, every little helps.
yeah, and after we've had a break, we'll have a second half. So, do teeth sweat? Yes.
I'm loving it.
That's do teeth sweat? Well, yeah, that's what saliva is. So it makes perfect sense. That's exactly what it is. Couple of its substitutes and bonkers scored for East
tonight?
Coast. And a red card for Edgar Davids. That is incredible.
At least it's a home team this time.
It is a home red card. They're 1-0 up and they're one man down. Right.
Do you know what? I've only just realised. It didn't click originally, but that midfield then originally had Davids, Keane, and Tomasi. It's another one of them teams. How many defensive players can you fit into one team?
Well, the way that Dimble's picked them, he's actually picked them in their strongest positions here. That Tomasi, yes, he is a defensive mid, but Keane and Davids, they're strongest in centre midfield. So he's picked them very well, to be honest. But unfortunately, he's lost Davids now. Wooder has realised it wasn't sweat; it was sweet. But yeah, teeth do sweat. That is exactly what we've mentioned there about saliva. So let's have a look at this. We've got Davids has been sent off. I mean, what would you do? Imagine put your Dimble head on. What would you do regarding the Davids situation?
Well, I would clarify to the audience that I'm not here for their entertainment.
You're not here to whelm anybody.
No, exactly. And then I'd just move Keane centrally.
Just go in a line.
Yeah.
Sticking in line there. Montero for me is one that needs withdrawing at 80% and a yellow card, and they've had a red already.
Well, again, yeah, it depends on if you look at what's happened in the other games and seen that we've had two players get sent off for 2 yellow card offences already.
Yeah, he would be considered a condition and a danger yellow. In Wooder's world, in Dimble's world.
Now, Wooder's World is a film that I would pay to see.
It'd be I don't know, what genre would it fall into?
Comedy horror.
Oh, horror-y. Good. Rustico is coming on at the back there. Performance, condition, danger yellows. Performance-wise, we've got Estebarria is the one to come off, isn't he then? Estebarria off, and that would be, look at Barijo 3 goals and Salva 6 goals. That's Salva for Estebarria. There we are. And Alan Well, looking into their changes. Lots of 6s. Hersey is the only player outside defence that's performing okay. He's also the one on least fitness.
One of the worst finds he's ever seen. Wood is not impressed.
There's nothing wrong with that spine at all. It's pretty solid, isn't it? I mean, I'm just trying to work out what the best situation would be here regarding Robbie, and I think Bonk's captain Cassano has dropped off form. Now I think in terms of what to do here, Cassano withdrawn and Ekakanga to come on, because he's actually played pretty well this season. Other than that 5, he's come off the bench and he's scored goals, so we're going to give Ekakanga a run out for Cassano.
Seems fair.
Ilola is on a card, so we bring on Dean Keats as sub 2, and Keats plays left of the 2. There we are.
Seems fair enough.
So, will there be any change at this point? And Bonk has had a chance. He's playing against himself, of course, during this game. We are 20 minutes away from the end of this match. We are in one of our longest shows of the season. To be honest, I don't care. I've been enjoying it. And we have one game left after this one. It's been a quiet match. And East Coast looking to get a second, but look at Roy Keane gets a yellow right at the end. East Coast 1, Allenwell 0. Not the most overwhelming match in the world. And
No, I was watching that, considering what my next question to the Swemp masses would be, because there wasn't much to talk about from the game itself.
no, it's a shame. It's a shame because these are two good teams. I've enjoyed watching these teams.
Yeah, it was reminiscent for me of not so much nowadays, but if you go back sort of 5 years in the Premier League, when like Man United would come up against Chelsea and they would just completely bore the crap out of each other and nothing would happen for 90 minutes.
It's not a bad analogy because two decent sides. I mean, look at Keown's tackles, Montero 4 key tackles during that game. Roy Keane not the best at throwing himself around. Grant Mitchell.
The conversation's taken a turn again.
Yeah, Ross Kemp is Grant Mitchell. Yeah, and it's of course James McFadden that is Phil Mitchell. Yeah,
No, it's not James McFadden.
It is. He was playing for Everton and EastEnders.
Steve McFadden.
East Evertons. Do you remember that program? It was great. And Peggy
No.
Arfex had Mitchell as well. It's,
Peggy Arfex.
it's a great player. Rustico 9 tackles out of 10. He played very, very well in defence and got a 7.
And only managed to get a 7.
2 fouls have counted against him during that one. The substitutes, Ekakanga played fairly well. Keats came on and made no real difference to Ilola. Ilola was winning some tackles. Keats didn't win any. And just to check on the East Coast again, their subs both got 7s. So, yeah. Big shame to lose Allenwell in the season. Big shame to lose those because they've been a quality side this season. But the East Coast side, all brave, aren't they? They have won. And we go into the last match of the day. Is Fortuna Deflection versus Iron Curtain United.
Did you say this was the last one?
I believe it's the last one. Yeah.
I thought we still had a couple to go.
Yeah, it's the last one. At 1 hour and 47 minutes, I think we probably should be into our last game by now. But yeah, I do try and make sure the shows are sort of 15 minutes per match, including all the talk. And this one is 2 minutes over that with 1 match to go. So who cares? It's all people are here for the Ross Kemp chat, so it's all good. 10th versus 11th game of the day. In fact, we look at them at start 2 points apart. Goal difference, one's +2, one's -2. We'll just stay on talking stats, yeah. And if you look at it, and we look at Fortuna, 6 wins to 6, 7 draws to 5. I can go on for a long time on that one, but yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Fortuna, I mean, if Quinton is back on, I'm not entirely sure.
I haven't seen him.
He's just been... Ross Kemp was in Spandau Ballet, yeah. He was. So
That was Martin Kemp.
no, it wasn't. It was Ross Kemp. It was Ross Kemp on Bands, which was a great documentary
Kemp on back.
featuring Ross Kemp. Quinton is back. It featured Ross Kemp, Tony Hadley, and Martin Kemp was there as the camera crew, and actually swapped. He did a sort of job swap and went and joined with people who were on drugs. It was a good one. Yeah. So anyway, Quinton has gone for his selection for today.
Do you know what? The way you've been coming out with some tripe tonight is making me think that badgers don't lay eggs.
Yeah, but they do, so it's okay. Martin Swemp. Martin and Ross are brothers. Yep. Martin and Ross are brothers. That is exactly right. Gordon Ramsay on cocaine. World's Most Dangerous Boy Bands by Ross Kemp. Yeah.
God,
They
it's
don't.
taken a turn again. How many turns has this chat taken?
They don't look alike, but then Quinton and I don't either. So that's the thing.
Wait, you and Quintin are related?
No, we just pretend to be.
Oh,
Yes, we are. Yeah. That's why he does all the shows. He's easy to get hold of. So yeah, I mean, looking
your
at
brother has no social life. Is that what you're saying?
well, if we're not allowed social lives these days, he's we're just old people these days. Like, what have we got? Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay on cocaine was a real program.
It wasn't.
No, I've just literally received pictures of it.
God's sake. This is all getting a bit surreal now.
A 2017 film which rates at 7.2 on IMDb. Gordon Ramsay on cocaine, 7.7 documentary heaven. It rhymes, but lovely, isn't it? Yeah, it's real. My son Quinton has said, giving that away. So yeah. Oh, is he just? What does he do? Just swears at it? Swears at cocaine, maybe, I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah, he's just having a go with it.
So the team for today, if we take a look at who's missing from the team, I mean, it looks like he's pretty much going back towards a full strength. He didn't actually take any, but one of his staff died after taking it. So he went on a quest to find out more. Oh.
I thought you were talking about Quintin's team then. I was like, what? Champ has suddenly decided the assistant manager's died. It's a bit graphic.
This is the other bald fella. Lee Carsley? I think you're about Lee Carsley there, aren't you? He's the other bald fella. I think. Lee Carsley and Thomas Gravison. And then Ross Kemp and James McFadden. That's what
Steve
it all is.
McFadden.
Of course, Steve Owen to be one of the favourites to score the first goal for
No,
England at the
don't
World
throw
Cup.
in Steve Owen just to confuse people.
Danny Dyer's Deadliest Mitchell. It sounds good there. It sounds like a great programme. I think Peggy would win.
I think, actually, it would be the one that does Would I Lie to You?
Yes.
He would
Yes,
most
of
certainly be
course.
the Deadliest Mitchell.
Unless Brian McFadden got run over by his car. I don't know if any of you ever watched Time Trumpet. But Time Trumpet's a good programme. It's a programme where they take a look back at the first 30 years of the 21st century. And it was made in 2007. So Cliff Parisi, he's Minty, isn't he? Who's in Call the Midwife as well. Mike Savage just chucking in random other person there. Anyway, yeah, Time Trumpet. Yeah, there's the great little sketch of Tim Henman in 2031 looking back on his career. And so he, after one match at Wimbledon when he went to shake hands with Andy Murray, who'd absolutely destroyed him in the game, I think something went wrong with Henman's racket and he accidentally killed Andy Murray. Which and so it all went wrong for him, and he ended up trying to end it all by putting his exhaust into putting his car on and leaving it in the garage. But he accidentally put the accelerator on when he sort of passed out, and he ended up reversing out of his garage and killing somebody else. So it's a good little program, is Time Trumpet. Anyone who can watch Time Trumpet, that's what we all need.
Well,
to
at the moment, I'm watching Still Game, which was recommended to me, and that's very funny.
By me, yep.
And if Mike wants random bold people, the first one that came to my mind was, is it Jasper Carrot, who used to present a show called Golden Balls, and one of the best moments on British TV ever, where the young girl completely savages the bloke that she's playing with, says that they're going to split the money, and then she steals it all.
Nice. Mike savaged them. Is that what happened? They completely Mike savaged them. Oh, I remember, yeah. Actually, on Golden Balls, there's actually someone who used to go to school with me who's on an episode of Golden Balls. I remember that now. Yeah, I remember. Completely forgot she was on an episode, but yeah, that was good. Fifey, who would play you in a film of your life?
James Corden, most likely. Fat and cheerful.
Oh, you can't have James Corden. James Corden, who, according to someone who knows him well, my best man's girlfriend, who knows him quite well from working with him, he's not a very nice man.
In which case, I would like to retract my answer
and go for Barry from EastEnders.
Go with the second. Well, no, I was going to go with someone more obvious and more like me than Barry from EastEnders. Probably Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Yes, I think that would be a suitable fit. So, what is Mike Savage wanting to stick with Cliff Parisi for him? Or is he just going to chuck that on there?
Whenever one of the birds I went to school with was on Naked Attraction. I'll tell you what I have started watching, bizarrely. Not programs, but just clips of Just Tattoo of Us. If you've never seen that, that is savage.
I've not seen that at all. By the way, that is superb. This is an absolutely superb summary of the Fortuna team for today. That was tremendous.
Well, do you know what? The only thing I wanted to say about Fortuna is I'm disappointed that Talon Martin isn't involved.
Yeah, it's Talon Martin not involved. Last time these played each other,
I don't even know who half the players are in the Iron Curtain, if I'm honest.
Last time they played each other, it was it was an interesting match, and it was one of those games where, David Day again kept his team in the group. Fifey should have a toy fixer.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Tato, because at work a few years ago we did what's the thing where you grow your moustache and stuff? Movember. We did Movember, and I was shaping mine. This was before I had the facial hair that I sport these days anyway. And I took a picture and I said, I can't decide whether I look like the toy fixer from Toy Story or just a really fat Rafa Benitez. And then Rafa Benitez came back to Newcastle as a fat Rafa Benitez, which was hilarious.
Jeremy the Clock Beetle. Jeremy. Yes, with his lovely PlayStation controller. Specially customised. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, Krapkowski in the team has started getting back into it. Romoshenko as a centre back has done reasonably well. I'd never play him there myself, but he does a job. Yeah, it's not too bad.
He's never having a conversation with himself.
I believe so.
No idea what he's talking about anymore.
I think he's just gone into explaining to somebody else how to do something, but he's on the wrong chat. So he's gone to the wrong chat. That's easy mistake to make.
How many times does he message sorry lads on chat?
So we are in this, and predictions then. It's going to be a close one.
Given that Talon Martin is involved, and I don't know virtually any of the Iron Curtain players, I'm going to go for 0-0 to end the night on a high.
0-0 for the end. We had a 0-0 the other day, I think, towards the end. Was it 2 0-0s at the end of the other match? So the bit that Duggan will watch, so just drop stuff into this. Yeah.
Just randomly chat shit for the next 5 minutes, because we haven't been for the last hour and 58.
Will anybody else come up with a prediction for this superb game with these players? Obviously, Robert Sandritano this season has been doing fairly well. Jurgen Kohler, who I believe won't be playing for Fortuna next season, but I'm sure we'll see him again sometime soon. He's had a great season. And another Arkadiusz Bonk. This is probably the one who's not playing quite so well. Quinton not predicting. And everyone else too busy trying to work out something about someone wooden nose on Naked Attraction.
The only thing looking at these teams, the only thing I predict is a riot.
Right, so Iron Curtain red cards. Here we go. Kohler to get a 9, David Day to get a 10.
Tato's gone full wooder.
Yeah, he is concerned, though. That's the thing. He's hoping that these two teams don't catch him up. Although they shouldn't have to worry about it too much, to be honest. 13 minutes in, we haven't got anything, and Castillo has gone off injured.
I would go for Eric Prids.
You call on him. I mean,
Very good.
is Rovnico going to be employed as a left-sided player here? I can't work out from Quinton what he's going to do other than that. Might
I
put Estevez out on the other wing. I'm not sure.
I was going to say, I reckon you'll move Nicky Ferenko out there and put someone else behind Collins.
He's clicking. Stick Estevez on swap wingers, yeah. There we are.
Quinton's more interested in the chat now. He don't care what you do. Just wants you to get on with it. He wants to know about the ugly lesbian.
There we are. So, yeah, Estevez has come on. He's playing on the right-hand side, where he's quite comfortable.
Isn't there, from Tato?
Get your Vance Warner out. Yeah, so everyone wants to get their Vance Warners out. And Carlos Jack's playing on the other wing now. Yeah, I mean, he's a winger, so why not? Quinton, who's playing you in a film? Yeah. And you can't... I don't think he wants to play him. I don't think he wants me to play him. We all know it's Michael Barrymore who wants to play. But halfway through the half, it's well, to be honest, it's not the most entertaining match. It is possibly going towards that 0-0 you were predicting. Will there be a chance?
I reckon Vinnie Jones would play a good part.
We've had Shevchenko on a yellow card. A chance for Fortuna coming forward a little bit more. Close to half time, and Estevez has been involved. But to be honest, I just can't see a goal yet. Ian Dowie's playing. Yeah, actually, he's quite a good lookalike. To be honest, yeah, it's not too bad.
If that's the case, maybe you could get Baby Fred. If anyone has watched A League of Their Own and seen Freddie Flintoff when he was a baby, that is so funny.
Get Baby Shark to play. That'd be good. It's 0-0 at half time. But Dieter Eilts is having a quality game. A 9 so far, doing absolutely what he needs to do. Shot wise, Fortuna just edging it. Thierry Henry, yeah. Thierry Henry could do, because Quinton did a lookalike thing back in the days before apps and stuff on his phone, put a picture into a website, and it came up with was it 98% Thierry Henry as your lookalike? Something ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah. Quinton's going to 60 minutes with his team. Eilts is the only one who's really putting the tackles in. Saeed and Jack's doing a bit.
It's good to see a man of his age still pulling the strings as well.
Yeah, more so than Fortesh. And on the other side, Smertin staying on the pitch, no yellow card yet, and Krapkowski a few challenges. But yeah, it was. I think it was the fact that Quinton was there, stood up with his moustache and a big giant ghetto blaster in one of his arms. I think that's why he looks so much like Thierry Henry. If you haven't seen that picture, it's the best picture of Thierry Henry you'll ever see. Anyway, Iron Curtain not making changes. They like the killing people off as much.
Out of you and Quinton, who's most likely to do an Ashley Cole and shoot the work experience kid?
Well, I think out of me and Quinton, who's going to be? Oh, it's a goal! It's a goal for Nicky Ferenko.
Don't change the subject.
Who's more likely to be demanding that saying 55 grand a week's an insult? I think that'll be Quinton. So sub-wise, looking at how they're going, I mean, look at this. Carlos Jack's at 86, Nicky Ferenko 85, but he's fine, and Dieter Eilts at 86.
That's a nervous laugh there, Tato. You've asked a difficult question.
That's the strangest question.
It's been a strange night.
No one's going to beat anybody up. We're all right. Quite happy, thanks. Just done well on for Bonk.
Come on for that.
Anything else from Quinton? Trying to find that huge. Any more changes for Quinton? Let's have a look. I'll just make that one, and then I mean they've made 2 already, haven't they? So that might be it. And for the other side, that's it for him. And the other side, yep, nobody is literally 0% or anything like that. So we keep playing. It's 1-0. Nicky Franco's goal against himself. With 20 minutes to go, it's looking quite well poised. Will IELTS has taken a yellow card now? Will that drop his rating down? Collins and IELTS there on yellow cards. Some 8s for Fortuna, nothing for Iron Curtain, and it's a red card.
Oh, that's huge with 10 minutes to go.
Red card for Quinton with Dieter IELTS.
Who I was only praising at half
I
time.
know, yeah. Is this going to be a Robert Pritz, or is it going to be an Atalakis on and Vance Warner on in that position? And
Well, Tato wants Vance on.
yeah, an advance warning to bring on Vance Warner.
Oh, God, it gets worse.
Drop Lenny to defensive mid, and Nicky Franco to centre mid. Put them all central. Message retracted from David. Yeah, I think it was rude. It was Lenny off for Warner. That's the other change there. He was insulting you, Fifey, and he's changed his mind.
I wouldn't worry too much about it, to be fair.
No, it was actually pretty much the same message. He's just.
I don't feel. I'm not easily offended. In fact, if I'm not being insulted, I don't feel like people really love me.
It's one of those situations, yeah. Yeah, go on then, yeah. Jeff, let's continue the match. Who's been a chance?
Jeff.
90
Jeff,
minutes.
ironically, is the name of my ex-father-in-law.
Yeah. Well, there you go. And was he a nice man?
I've got nothing against him.
Well, now you do. Yeah. Okay, so 1-0 to Fortuna at full time. 1-0. Jurgen Kohler with a 9. Was that predicted in the thing from Tato before kick-off? I believe it was. I
do believe it actually was. I think Tato's actually called that one bang on the
Jurgen
nose.
Kohler's get a 9. Where's that in the chat before all this stuff?
There it was. You missed it. I've just seen it.
Yeah, Kohler's got a 9. Superb. Well put. I better get back to the bottom of the chart actually, haven't I now? Who would play Jeff in a film of his life? What, Jeff Stelling? Or just Jeff, generally? Jeff as in
I think
Jeff the
he means
father-in-law.
my ex-father-in-law.
Kohler has to be the most consistent defender I've ever seen. Well, we'll find out in season 2 if he can continue that. Dieter Alts was superb till his red card. Yeah, he's done a very good job there, hasn't he? Castillo, a concern going forward. 21%. Yeah, indeed, European Defender of the Year for Dortmund in the league with Dortmund and Bayern that we had. He didn't play all that often either. European Defender of the Year in season 1, not bad. And then retired. So you got his replacement, who did a good job as well. I can't remember what he's called. Anyway, he'll tell us, because that's what you do. So yeah, I mean, Iron Curtain, Sigalco, check that.
They were
heading
quite
out.
poor, really, weren't they, Iron Curtain? They never really looked like building a head of steam and building momentum to try and get back in the game.
I'm just astonished by that heading figure. 15 attempts and 3 successful headers. So if we look at how the other team have done, Kohler's won 7 and Rabasano-Tano's won 3. So the fact that he's won some is well, he's won up against Rabasano-Tano, hasn't he? Generally didn't watch any of the game. He finished 1-0 and it was Nicky Franco with the goal. Jurgen Kohler's 9. Lots of performances there from Fortuna. And
I feel a
there
bit
we
sorry
are.
for Quinton because he's probably not had the respect he deserves by the fact no one was watching it because we've all been pissing about in the comments.
I think a lot of this round could be put down to that, but it was it's been one of the more fun rounds. We have some quite good ones. Yeah, great win for Fortuna. And to look at those results there, so last time around we had no away wins. Today we've had 4.
Well, yes, but that's because teams like Flamingos are playing at home.
And the other away teams didn't score. So it's quite the change there. Look, Fortuna staying in 10th place despite their win because of Ewan's win, who've actually gone ahead of the Wanderers of Wolverhampton. Take a look at this table now. 3-point gap from Trafford to Phoenix is still there, but Phoenix are 9 goals better off. So
is there any games where the either the top 2 or the top 4 still have to play each other?
Is it Trafford Phoenix on the last day? I think it's Trafford Phoenix on the last day of the season. It is.
Oh,
yeah, huge game. So yeah, massive. Hulls versus East Coast. They're level on points. Got look into the rest of the season for East Coast that they don't have to play Hulls. They're running these 3 teams that they probably should beat, but Trafford is their home game. 3 aways and then 1 at home.
Phoenix next game away at Falaraki's difficult.
Yeah, hugely with how Fallaraki are playing at the moment. Going back into that table again, Fallaraki now 5 points ahead of Allenwell. Badgers, Ewan Rovers over the 30-point mark, which is massive for them. It's a great achievement.
Congratulations.
Yeah, great stuff. Wanderers of Wolverhampton dropped down to 9th. Fortuna on 28 points. David on 2 devices. Well, I'm on 6. So, where are all the other viewers? There's not many other viewers at all. These are just pretend stats to have 8.
I've got 4 games and I've got 13 goals to play with.
And you've got to stop yourself conceding 13 goals. So, yeah, look at this. I mean, what would we see? 4 matches to go. Racers, 8 points from safety. Imagine Madrid, 7 points from safety. I mean, the results for the teams today, Imagine Madrid moving ahead of Racers is a big thing for them, but I still can't see them overturning a 7-point gap.
No, not now. I think the bottom 3 are the bottom 3. It just depends whether it's Madrid Racers Flamingos or Racers Madrid Flamingos.
Tato are confident these teams are not going to finish 10th in the league. He's not been any lower this season than 8th, but he's convinced 10th place finish is where he's going to be at. Let's compare other sides. Trafford, been top for a long time. Phoenix, well, they've been second. Hulls, the top 4 have been fairly settled. East Coast particularly. Fallaraki now look pretty safe there. Allenwell flirting with 5th and 6th. Ewan, they've only peaked at 7th a couple of times, but so they're doing about as good as they can do. The Wolves have just done a kind of Badgers Junior and just sticking just below them. Fortuna, it's a kind of up and down. 10th looks about right. Iron Curtain, settled. Imagine Madrid. I mean, yeah, they've been down there all the season. Racers started off with a win, and that was about it. And Flamingos. The old straight
if
line
nothing
graph.
else, we're consistent.
Yeah, I would agree. That's a word to use for that. Consistently awful. Quick check on player stats. Van Nistelrooy topping the average rating from Elber Batistuta. We've got David Day still in there as a goalkeeper in the charts. Batistuta's 18 goals, 2 clear of Yavin. Elber, Sigalko and another Yavin, top 5. In the penalties, Shearer, 3 penalties in 1 game, puts him top of the list. Rui Costa's 4 assists clear of Arkadiusz Bonk of East Coast. Then we've got Ronaldinho, Mostovoy has been injured for a bit, and Figo. Kenny Lunt on 5 assists. 4 yellow cards, well not 4 yellow cards, 9 yellow cards, Roy Keane. Edgar Davids, Rimmer, Terry, Smirtine following East Coast, disciplinary problem there. And look at the CCCP, They've got 3 players up there as well as East Coast. Red cards. Roy Keane, the only one on 2.
Do you know what?
Go on.
No Flamingos player has made any list so far, including the bad ones like red cards.
Can they make it on any of these stats down here? Nope, they can't make it on tackles. And I would imagine dribbles and shots on target, they'd be pretty lost on that. But I tell you where they will get it. The game's lost.
Yes.
Lee Croft, 19 defeats. And a check on Team of the Week. There was a Team of the Week. And we've got Shalkvist in goal from Ewan Rovers. Lizarazu, Montero, Kohler and Cafu. Robin, Scally and another Cafu. And then Ronaldinho, Shearer and Emilio Estevez completing the lineup. With subs bench Alan Smith, 4 goals, can't get in the starting lineup.
It's a ridiculous of riches, and again, the Team of the Week is never something I always agree with anyway. It doesn't really make sense how, like you say, players can score 4 and not make it.
They certainly can. It is bedtime for one and all, I imagine, and I'm going to imagine you all in bed. That's the way I'm going to go for the rest of the night and sleep soundly doing so. Yeah, Estevez getting another Des. Des scored a goal and Estevez barely played. We did get in a viewer at this time. Steve probably turned up just for the end of it, maybe. Fifey, thank you very much. It's been one of the most entertaining rounds of the season.
Well, apologies that I offered next to nothing that resembled intelligent or witty comment on what was happening, but I hope I managed to keep people relatively entertained alongside the excellent live chat tonight.
Oh, the football at times becomes a bit secondary to the quality chat, and that's the way it goes. And fair enough, it's certainly not a serious level of conversation, but yeah, I really enjoyed it tonight, and I think it was superb. So thank you.
Yeah, good luck. Thanks for having me on.
Not a problem. And to everyone else who's been on the chat tonight, you've been great. And
yeah, great work, guys.
We'll see you soon. Good night.